Today we're in Flemington, West Virginia on Kinsey Oak Front Farms. We've been farming for over 150 years. We are a 200 head purebred Angus cow-calf operation. Being a fifth generation farmer, you know what your ancestors, what your family, what they had to go through, the struggles, the good times, the bad times that they've went through in the agriculture industry, and to continue to do what my great-great-grandfather did is just an overwhelmingly great feeling of pride. I've always felt just very natural around cattle, and it's not always easy around an animal, number one, but when we're bringing cattle into a facility or moving them from field to field, we try to minimize the stress. And one of the easiest ways that we'll do it is, we'll have a bag of feed and try to call the cattle in, and then hopefully have someone in behind and push the cattle in. It's like giving your dog a treat or your cat a treat. If they've done something well, you kind of treat them, and it's a very small portion, but I think it goes a long ways. And more often than not, the cattle remember that, hey, that even though we've got to go through this facility and maybe get a shot for a certain vaccine, that hey, when we're done, we might get some of that stuff in that white bag right there. My wife is a full-time teacher, grew up on a farm, understands farming, thank goodness. It takes a spouse in agriculture to have a lot of patience and understanding. Yes, I might be gone from the house for 13 or 14 hours, and she's very understanding about that, because she knows I'm not just out hiding underneath a shade tree, that we're actually trying to do something. And to have my wife have the ability to help, it's a very good feeling of being blessed. My father started performance testing bulls in the late 1970s, and we've continued for almost 35 years testing bulls. When you put the pen to the paper and you're trying to make it in this business, you want to be as extremely as efficient as possible. That's something always on my mind, is how can we become more efficient and more sustainable. With the GrowSafe technology, our cattle can go out and graze on a whole lot less ground. They don't need as much forage through the wintertime, and still maintain their body nutrition that they need through the wintertime, and still raise a very adequate calf. Our customers are mainly commercial cattlemen. We're trying to make a product that our customers want, and how we're utilizing GrowSafe, our customers are the ones that benefit from this process as well. Not just cattle need to be efficient, all of our technologies in agriculture need to be efficient, because there's going to be a big demand for food, with a very small population producing that food. And I think, the GrowSafe technology is something that can really help us in some of our selection criteria on the farm. Looking on the outside, an individual in New York can say, hey, this is a very sustainable practice. We're producing a very efficient product, and with a lot of mouths to feed in this world. I had the question proposed one time, does it matter what I'm doing, especially with larger operations out west? Why do we do what we do? And I'm sure that was proposed to the generations of my family. Why do you do what you do? And I don't know what they would answer, but I gotta guess it would have been because they love what they did. And I think that's, when I get down to the nuts and bolts of thing, sometimes I have to stop and might be aggravated over something on the farm, but I have to take a deep breath and remind myself, this is what I love, what I do, and I hope it matters. And I hope there's a consumer that someday will have a product that's produced on this farm and realize that it's went through a lot of steps to get to them, and it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of history to get to them at some point, and hopefully that it does matter.